And now to that conversation that Sunrise Daily was having before they came over to the business studio. The electricity tariff, of course, I'm sure by now everybody knows the number by heart. 225 naira, that's what it will cost per kilowatt for consumers within band A. Now let's look at those who are within band A. If we don't already have that, 4 hours of supply, at least 4 hours of supply, that means 4 hours and more. If we could have that slide right there, 4 hours and more of supply places consumers at the lowest strategy, which is band E. Those are the people who have the list of supply. And then for band D, it's 8 hours and above. And then band C, we have 12 hours and above. Well, those involved right now will be the 20 hours and above. And somebody was asking if really we have consumers who have more than 20 hours of electricity supply. Well, let's look at other aspects. I know that Sunrise Daily did speak right there from the NERC perspective. Let's talk about, let's talk from the metering perspective now, because that's also a major one. We have the Vice President of Nigeria Society of Engineers, Engineer Demola Agoro, joins us in the studio. Engineer, good morning, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So everybody has heard about the hike in electricity. Before then, I think we were prepared when they told us about the adjustment in the price of gas.
Okay.
And then that we should prepare our minds. And before we even got our breath, we saw this has come. How necessary do you think this hike is come? Because the manufacturers are talking, and you don't blame them when you see how much they will have to pay, you know, for electricity. That if it to be 24 hours, I guess it might even be cheaper, but they will still have to substitute with other logistics involved. So would you say this action is necessary at this time, being a stakeholder in the electricity chain?
Yeah, thank you for that question. As a manufacturer, I will tell you that this action is necessary because what the government, the regulator has done is to move us to the cost-effective tariff. You know, the way the electricity sector is built in Nigeria today, you have the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. You know, the generation is the one, they are the people that are actually needing the gas. Most of our generating capacity in Nigeria today, 80% is on gas, 20% is on the hydro. What is really happening is that when the generator generates their electricity, the actual money is the distributor that is collecting the money. But the actual money that the distribution companies are paying the generation company is being subsidized by the government because they cannot generate enough money. And there are some different things that can cause that. The major thing now that the distributor had told the government was that, oh, the price is not a cost-effective tariff. So that is why the regulator, what they did now is that, okay, we are going, because of the cost of gas that has increased, they agree with the distributor, okay, this is the cost for kilowatt of energy, based on the fact that you are going to look at all the dynamics that are involved. But the only thing there now is that I don't have a problem with the saying that if you have 20, 24 hours, you are going to pay a cost-effective tariff. But the major issue is the Consumer Protection Council. As it is now today, regulator have the capacity to look. You know, they said that they downgraded some feeder. But where they said that they have about 3,000 feeders in Nigeria, about 500 of them have been downgraded from band A to band B or thereabout. The truth now is that how does a consumer reflect to know that, oh, I'm on a band A and I'm actually having more than 20 hours of supply? So the regulator needs to do more because, to be honest with you, there's no way this power sector can grow without a cost-reflective tariff. But to protect the consumer, there must be, if this pressure will actually be on the disco, there must be adequate sanction. This is not an issue that say, oh, I hear them saying that they are going to, if you don't meet up this month, they are going to give you back the credit. That will not solve the problem. What will solve the problem is full transparency. There must be. I heard Ned saying that you can actually know with your account number. You can know the band that you have.
Yes, they said that on your if you're prepaid on your card, it's supposed to be indicated there the band that you belong.
That is fantastic. But the issue here is that.
But do you know for sure the band that you belong to?
Yes, I know.
How?
Because I know through different, because you know I'm a professional and I'm a meter manufacturer. I knew that even in the meter that we produce today, there's a code that will give to you, to a customer. If you type that code on your meter, it will tell you in a month, this is the number of energy that you have, and then they publish it. You know, what NEC is saying is that they are going to publish this.
I mean, because you are in the industry, so it's easy for you to go through all of this.
Yes.
Consumers should be able I should confidently say, oh, I'm in band A or band B, you know, and that will determine how much I'm paying.
That's what NEC is saying is going to happen now. If you heard Commissioner Yusuf saying that they have in their website that they are going to start from today, that once you type your meter number, you can actually know the band that you are. But my major challenge is should go beyond that, because my challenge there is that once a customer, they should invest in the facilities that put pressure on the disco to be sure that if you're actually saying that you are going to collect money for 20 hours and above, if you don't provide that 20 hours, the sanctions should be more than saying that you are going to pay, because it's at the detriment of the customer. It should be more so that discourse will improve. Anybody that wants to charge somebody on band A must be ready for the business. It's not as if that, because what NEC is saying now that, okay, any disco that can provide 20 hours and above, you have the capacity to charge this. So if they don't provide it, and you are telling us that, oh, you only bleed them based on, that is not going to be fair enough. So if somebody wants to take up that responsibility as a disco, he must be ready.
Have to see the stated out consequences.
Yes, he must be then ready to
because
invest.
I mean, we've heard so many times where government agencies will tell you, oh, they'll even for instance for flights, airlines, you know, and then maybe they said, oh, they couldn't make it, they will refund you. Yeah. We know what happens. So when you talk of refund, actually, it's a long story. But I mean, let's also use this advantage. We have just a couple of minutes more. You are MAPS, a meter asset provider.
Yes.
We've talked about domestic manufacturing of metering, but we still hear that the major part of it is still being imported. Not to mention the circulation or metering consumers in Nigeria. It seems we have slowed down on that also. And this is supposed to be able to bring transparency to this billing.
Now, the truth is that you cannot go on this project cannot succeed without a complete metering. There are any band that you are going to say you want to charge a cost-effective tariff, you have to be sure that customers on that band is going to be fully metered. That will put a pressure on the disco for the metering. The issue that when you talk about, say, look up, you know, we have more than 37 meter manufacturers in Nigeria. You can see the Honorable Minister visited two companies about some weeks ago. In terms of capacity, Nigerians, we have the capacity to meet the metering gap in the country. It's when you are saying that the only thing that is being imported really is the electronic part of the, and that's what is really affected by the cost of dollar. Most of the other parts of the meat is being produced locally, and we have capacity in-house.
Are discos patronizing domestic manufacturers?
Yes, discos are, most of the discos are patronizing domestic manufacturers. That the meter asset provider is actually based for investors that are supposed to buy either from domestic manufacturer or to import. But with some of the policies that governments have put in place that make it very even difficult for people to import meter because of the levy. So the only thing that the only thing that we are saying is that the government just needs to do more to encourage the local meter manufacturers.
More in what
in
area?
Terms of believe in investing. You know, when you want to reduce a cost, it's based on the volume. Most of the things we do now is that, you know, it's individuals that are paying for the meter. So if you pay, I will deliver. But if the government says, oh, company A, go and deliver 100,000 meter to close this metering gap, it automatically brings down the volume brings down the prices and everything. And we can, and meters, you know, we have the NEMSA that is in charge of the regulating the quality of the meter. But the major challenge that I think that I must say here, that governments must put, this issue of band-aid that people are talking about is not even the problem. You know, when these codes are sold, these codes are supposed to reduce the ATC and C losses. There must be transparency. If you are saying a generator generates 100 kilowatts, what does it end up in the disco premises? If at the end of the day, it ends up at 60 kilowatts between the generation and the transmission, who bear those losses? Those are the things that discos must invest in. And as a user, it's not even about the price. It's about the energy management. You can decide if they are saying something is this cost per hour. It depends on, because hour is measured in kilowatt hour. It's either you use it or you don't use it. And you may decide to off and use it when you really need it.
All right, Engineer, well, I think we'll have to bring you in another day. Vice President of Nigeria Society of Engineers, Managing Director, CEO, Protogy Global Services, and also MAPS, Meter Assets Provider.
Thank you.
We'll certainly have you one of these days to talk more about the meters and,
no problem.
all of that.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll head to the commodities space. To stay with us.